This is Carlina with Congruence Yoga, and this is a special request vinyasa flow done from the chair, which can be done in your office or anywhere that you have a chair available to you. I'm totally happy to accommodate requests, so if you have any, feel free to leave them in the comments. Make sure you have a sturdy chair available to you. A folding chair will work, or anything that just feels solid when you're sitting in it. This is going to be accessible to beginners, but it will just be a nice practice for anyone who needs a more restorative day of yoga. Let's get started. Take a seat on your chair, then move to the edge of your seat. Make sure your feet are firmly planted on the floor. If you have shoes on, take a moment now, take them off so that you can feel more firmly the ground underneath your feet without your shoes getting in the way. This is part of yoga. That extra feedback that you get when your foot is in contact with the floor is very important to build connections between your feet and your brain. In most poses in yoga, your feet are the foundation of the pose. Spreading your toes wide, press down the big toe, pinky toe, and center of your heel. Feel your arches lift, feel your quad muscles engage, and feel as though, as you press down into the floor, it's giving a little something back to you. Lift that energy up out of the arches of your foot, through your legs, through your core. Roll your shoulders back and down. Bring your hands onto your thighs. Try to keep your chest broad. Extend that line of energy through the crown of your head. A gentle tuck in your chin. Close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. If you prefer to keep them open, pick one thing out in front of you that's not moving that you can focus your gaze on. And then begin to breathe. Try to keep all of that connectedness from the ground all the way through the crown of your head with each inhale and each exhale. If you're new to the practice of yoga, the breath is integral in each posture, in between each posture, and even in stillness laying on the floor. The breath helps to integrate whatever changes occur in your body into your brain so that your movement becomes purified, more precise, refined, and efficient in your body. Try to bring a balance to your breathing. That can be the sensation of balance, or it can be a count. You can count your inhale breaths, count how long it takes to inhale, and then match the length of your exhale to the length of your inhale. If you find yourself becoming a little breathy, then reverse and focus more on your exhales. Still breathing, still connecting to the floor. This sensation of balance in the breath eventually translates into the body, again, integrating and connecting the physical experience of being in your body to the mental components of being in your body, and maybe eventually even beyond that. As you become less focused on aches and pains, that opens up more space in your mind to explore other things, other passions that you might have, spirituality. And that is why yoga is something that you can make whatever you want of it. So with all of that potentiality and all of that possibility in front of you in this practice, maybe you'd like to set an intention, just an additional point of mental focus so that you can stay very clear and pure in your mind as we begin to move a little bit. Take 3 more breaths. Keep that sense of calm that is with you right now, and try to keep it with you as we move. We're going to begin with some gentle cats and gentle cows. So open your eyes, keep your feet grounded. They're about hip-width distance apart right now, wherever you feel you can get good purchase between your foot and the ground. Hands are on your thighs, the top of your thighs, pressing down. Let your arms be straight. Allow this to support the uprightness in your spine. This is a neutral spinal position. As you exhale, you'll push your belly button back towards the back of the chair, curl your chin towards your chest, look in at your belly button. Cat pose. Inhale, pressing into the thighs. Lift your gaze up, broaden across your chest. Send your gaze up all the way in between your eyebrows. Cow pose. Exhale, reverse, pressing the navel back, looking in at your belly button. Inhale, lift, open the chest, look up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, curl in, look in, lengthen the back of the neck. Inhale, broaden the chest, lift up out of the hips, lengthen the spine, look up. Take 4 more cats and 4 more cows. Take 1 inhale and 1 exhale per movement, drawing out the inhales and exhales as long as you need to in order to complete the movement. Come back to a neutral spinal position. Hands are still on your thighs. Re-lengthen through the back of the neck, entire spine, gentle tuck in your chin, eyes softly focused at the tip of your nose. Let's take a moment to open the chest a little bit further. Begin to reach your arms behind the back of your chair. You can sit back all the way to the back of the chair and then begin to stretch your right arm out to the right and then back behind the back of the chair, your left arm out to the left and then back behind the back of the chair. If you can reach your hands, clasp your hands together. If you cannot reach your hands, just grab anywhere on the chair, on the side of the back of the chair, and try to make your grip symmetrical. Roll your shoulders open and lean a little forward. If you can grab your hands, great. Try to find a strong grasp. As you do, maybe lengthen your knuckles down towards the floor and again, opening the chest. If possible, maybe even grabbing for opposite elbows. Same thing, rolling the chest open, lengthening the spine. Everybody, once you find your position, open the chin a little and look up for 4 breaths. 3, 2, inhale, lengthen, look up. Exhale, return to a neutral spine. I've adapted the Surya Namaskar, the sun salutation, to the chair. So we're going to run through 3 cycles of sun salutations. Grounding through the feet, lift your arms out wide and then up over your head. Look up, take a big inhale. Open your feet a little wider. As you exhale, sit your hips back, lean forward, and curl in between your legs. Look in at the top of your chest. Inhale, bring your hands to your knees. Lengthen your spine. Find a flat, long back. Big inhale, look up between your eyebrows. Bring your hands to your heart. Press through your feet. Exhale, stand up. Inhale your arms over your head, look up, maybe even touch your palms together. Exhale, turn to your left, face your chair, plant your hands onto the seat of your chair, walk your feet about 3 feet back, 2 to 3 feet back. This is chair downward facing dog. Press your hands, palms face down onto the top of your seat. Look back at the top of your thighs and let your neck relax. Try to get your hips higher than your head. If you need to spike up onto your toes a little bit, you can totally do that, and that's okay. Just really looking to get the hips a little bit higher as you open the chest, open the low back, and the backs of the legs. Staying here for several breaths now. You have the option, if you'd like to bring a little bit more fire into your practice, to walk your feet a little bit forward so that your legs support you. Look forward, take an inhale, exhale, half of a push-up halfway down. Make sure that your chair is not going to slide out from underneath you. Keep your chest forward, holding for 2 more breaths. Walk your feet back, hips high, back to downward facing dog. Everybody is in downward facing dog. 3 more breaths here. 2 more breaths. Everybody inhale, walk your feet a little forward, lengthen through the back body, look up, broaden the chest, hands to your heart, exhale, stand the rest of the way up. Take an inhale, lift your arms, look up between your hands. Exhale, turn to the right, face the front, sit back into your chair. Begin again. Hands to your thighs, pressing down through the feet, grounding yourself as you exhale and settle down onto your chair. Inhale your arms overhead. Look up between your arms, look up between your hands, maybe palms are touching. Exhale, feet are wide, fold in between your legs. This time, make a basket with your fingers, bring it to the back of your head, and let your neck relax a little bit more even. Don't pull, just let the weight of your arms do the work for you. Bring your hands to your knees. Lengthen your spine, sitting your hips back, lengthening the chest forward, broad across the chest. Inhaling deeply, hands to your heart. Exhale, press through your feet to stand. Lift your arms up. Inhale, look up between your hands, maybe palms pressed together. Exhale, turn to your left, face your chair, hands on the chair, walk your feet back, dog. Hips are higher than your head. You can shake your head a little yes, shake your head a little no, but then turn your gaze in towards the top of your chest, back of the top of your thighs, or your navel. Option here to take that push-up for 3 seconds, holding, walking the feet in, lowering halfway. Walk it back to downward facing dog. Everybody's still there for 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. Inhale, look forward, walk your feet in, lengthen the spine, broaden the chest. Exhale, stand the rest of the way up. Lift your arms up. Inhale, look up. Exhale, turn to the right, sit down. Ground through the feet, neutralize your spine, bring your hands back to the top of the thighs. 1 more time through Surya Namaskar A. Inhale your arms up and overhead, look up between your hands. Open your feet wide, exhale, fold, looking at your top of your chest. Bring your hands to your knees. Inhale, find a flat back, hips back, chest forward and broad, looking up. Bring your hands to your heart. As you exhale, stand up. Lift your arms overhead. Inhale, look up. Exhale, turn around, face your chair, plant your hands onto the seat. Walk your feet back, lift your hips higher than your head, pressing down through the hands evenly. Let your head relax, look back at the top of your thighs or your navel. If you're taking your chaturanga, your half push-up, walk your feet forward. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, lower halfway. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Walk your feet back. Exhale, settling into the hamstrings, low back, lengthening the spine. Everybody in your down dog for 2 more breaths. 1 more inhale. Walk your feet in, lengthen your spine, look up. Exhale, hands to your heart, stand the rest of the way up. Lift your arms overhead. Inhale, look up. Exhale, turn around, sit down. Now you're going to work on your forward fold. You're going to be here a little bit longer. So open your feet back wide enough that your rib cage is in between your thighs, snuggling the inner thigh to the outer rib cage. At the edge of your seat, feet are still firmly planted. First, take a big inhale, lengthen your spine, broaden your chest, look up. Then exhale, curl in and fold, holding now for 10 breaths. Let the back of your neck completely relax. Your gaze will be in. It might be at the top of your chest, tip of your nose, or all the way into your belly button, depending on your flexibility. So be patient with yourself and let your spine lengthen here. Grounding firmly through the feet, try to find some glute engagement as you allow yourself to settle into this posture. You can grab a hold of your big toe with your middle and index finger and let your elbows open in opposite directions to get a little extra stretch in the shoulder. Still making sure that the shoulders are relaxing away from your ears and that your neck is long. 3 more breaths here. Bring your hands back to your knees. Hug your elbows into your body. Lengthen your chest forward and your hips back. Look up. Inhale. Flat spine. Stay here for your exhale. Take another inhale in. As you exhale, hands to your hips. Straighten your spine back over your hips, pressing down through your feet. Coming back to a neutral seated position. Hands on the top of your thighs. Grounding. Press down through your left foot. Lift your right knee into your chest as much as possible. Some people will be able to pull the knee all the way into their chest. Some people will not, and that's okay. Just don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Here are the options. If you can get yourself high up, get yourself high up. But if you're struggling to get your knee lifted, perhaps bring your hands underneath the back of your right thigh and help to support the weight of your leg. This might become intense. That's okay, just let it be there. Once you get a grip there, if it feels like you're getting a little bit further into the pose, perhaps you can move your hands around the front of your right shin and knee. Interlacing your fingers will give you a stronger grip, so if that's an option for you, go there. And finally, as you begin to gain more flexibility, you can lift that knee all the way into your chest, holding even the bottom of the foot as you draw your heel into your body. But that's the final step. Don't rush yourself to that end point. Stay where you can just keep your glute on the right side engaged and find a stretch, but still keep your breath. That, of course, is important. Once you find the position, holding now for 3 more breaths, keep your chest upright and broad. Gaze at the tip of your nose and lengthen through the back of your neck and the crown of your head. One more inhale, and then exhale, reground through the right foot, switching sides. Press down through the right foot and begin again on the left side. Maybe holding behind the left thigh, maybe holding in front of the left shin. And finally, once you're able, you can bring your hands to the bottom of the left foot and really pull that knee up into your chest. You may want to make sure that your knee is a little outside of your stomach. You might open it a little bit to the side so that the inner thigh and the outer rib cage are in contact instead of compressing your chest and your stomach. Holding now for 3 more breaths. Chest is lifted. Crown of the head is lifted. Chin is slightly tucked, looking at the tip of your nose. One more inhale. Exhale. Set the left foot back down. Neutral spinal position. Chair pigeon pose, a really nice hip opener. Now you're going to start the same. Grounding through the left foot, pressing it down. Lift your right knee up. Find the highest position that you just left, knee into chest. So pulling it up as high as you can. Then open your knee out to the right. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Your knee may still be pointing up towards the ceiling if your hip is tight. That's okay. Walking through this from the beginning to the end, letting the knee be up as high as it wants to be. Don't force it. Bring your focus to the bottom of your foot. Make sure the bottom of your foot is flat, so bring the left hand to the bottom of your right foot. Grab your big toe. Use the rest of your fingers, your middle ring and pinky finger, to kind of press the pinky edge of the foot back towards the shin so that the big toe and pinky toe are in one straight line, pulling all of them back, dorsiflexing the ankle to the shin so that your ankle makes a nice 90-degree angle, no sickling. In other words, no rounding on the outside of your ankle. That's bad for your ankle and your knee and your hip all at once. So try to bring that ankle into a 90-degree. That's the first emphasis. If you cannot do that, then you're just going to stay and let that be your emphasis. If you can, then the next thing to do would be to open your knee further to the right without losing contact between your ankle and the top of the thigh. From there, you will slide your ankle a little more towards your knee until you're making a nice 90-degree angle between your hip and your knee and your ankle. So 2 90-degree angles, a nice kind of boxy shape with your hip. Maybe that's intense. You can begin to press down the inner portion of your right knee with your right hand. That might get you a little more open. Another way of saying the same thing would be to take the skin and the flesh of your right inner thigh and roll it from the inside to the outside. This is creating external rotation at your hip. Breathe into that sensation. Lift your chest, take an inhale. Maybe you stay here. If you can, exhale, fold forward over your right leg. Go until you feel sensation in your right hip. Breathing wherever that happens to be now for 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2. If you're folded, lift your chest, broaden, look up, inhale. Exhale, bring yourself back to a neutral position, switching sides now. Draw your left knee up into your chest, pressing down through the right foot. Wing your left knee to the left. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Grab a hold of the big toe of your left foot with your right index finger and thumb. Use your middle ring and pinky finger to press the pinky edge of your foot back in line with the big toe. Draw the top of the foot back towards the shin. Create a 90-degree angle at your ankle. Slide your shin forward until you've created a shin that's parallel to the front of your seat. Inhale, lengthen the spine, sitting the hips back, lengthening the chest forward and broadening across the chest. Maybe you stay here, maybe you exhale and fold for 8 more breaths. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Inhale, lengthen your chest. If you have folded, take an inhale, broaden, look up. Exhale, return to a neutral spine. Feet firmly planted, hip width, hands on the thighs, spine straight, chin tucked, crown of the head lifted, feet pressing down. Move your left hand to the left side of your chair. Grab a hold of it. Press down with your left hand. Wing your right arm out to the right and up above you, straight up. From here, sit your right hip a little to the right, leaning into the right hip. Stretch your right fingers to the left. Turn your chin to the right armpit. Let your eyes look down into the armpit without moving your chin any further. Pressing down through the left side, creating that foundation through the hips, the left arm, stretching the right hip to the right, stretching the right arm to the left, chin to the right armpit, eyes into the right armpit. One more inhale here. Bring it back to the neutral spinal position. Re-grab the left side of your chair with your left hand. Inhale your right arm back out and up. This time, look to the left shoulder. Drop your right hand across your body to the outside of your left knee, taking a gentle twist. Keep your chest upright. The eyes can turn to the left corner of the socket, but keep the chin in line with your shoulder. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Inhale to center, arms lift up. Ground your right hand on the right edge of your seat. Stretch your left hip to the left and your left arm to the right. Take a side body stretch now on the opposite side. Pressing firmly down through the right hand, make sure your neck is long on the right side too. So roll that shoulder open so you're broad across the right side of the chest. And again, pressing down through the right hand, setting the left hip to the left, stretching your left arm to the right, chin to the left armpit. Eyes are looking down that left armpit, but chin stays and goes no further. Inhale to a neutral spinal position. Ground your hands. Exhale to settle. Move your hand back to the right. Inhale your left arm out and up, and then cross it over your body as you exhale. Bring your left hand to the outside of your right thigh. Turn your chin to the right shoulder. Look to the right corner of your eye sockets without moving your chin any further than the shoulder. Take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Inhale, both arms overhead, look up. Exhale, hands to your thighs, ground. Neutral spinal position, lifting the shoulders out of the hips, rolling them open, crown of the head lifted, chin slightly tucked. Bring your hands to your knees, lengthen your spine forward, sit your hips back. Inhale, look out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart, press through your feet, stand up. Walk yourself behind your chair. Bring your hands to the top of the back of your chair. Walk your feet a little bit away. Now, don't let your chair slide out from underneath you. You're going to be pressing straight down and not forward, but you're going to bring your hands onto the top of the chair. Let your head drop between your shoulders, and just let your shoulders and your armpits open here. So you can walk your feet as far in or as far away as you need to in order to feel this kind of opening up your chest, opening up the back of the shoulders, and opening up the armpits. Gaze will be directly underneath your nose. 8 more breaths here. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, walk your feet back in, lengthen your spine, stand up, but stay holding the back of the chair. Step your left foot about 1.5 feet back. Begin to press down through the left foot, press straight down through both hands. Lift your right leg a couple of inches off of the ground, lifting it up and back, straightening and pointing your toes. Try to keep your hips neutral. You only have to go a couple of inches, although you can totally take this further by continuing to walk your left foot back a little bit, even to the point where you can come back to that first shoulder stretch position and make a T shape with your upper body and your right leg. You can take that as far as you'd like it, or you can just keep it at that beginning position. We're going to be here for another 6 breaths. 5, 4, 3, 2, walk it back in, both feet to the floor, press down through the back of the chair, lift your chest open, take an inhale, exhale, switch, right foot steps back about 1.5 feet, stretch your left leg back behind you, lift it a couple of inches off of the floor. Just find that connection first. You want to have a straight line no matter how deep you are in this pose. So maybe it's just a diagonal straight line from the tip of your left toes through the crown of your head. Or maybe you're lifting your left leg high enough that you can lower your body into a T shape. Keep walking that right foot back to make that solid foundation to match whatever your upper body is doing. Keep your hips neutral, whatever your upper body and left leg is doing. You still want the pelvis to be working together. 4 more breaths. 3, 2, walk it back in, walk all the way to the front of your seat, face your chair, take a second, press down through your feet, arms are by your side, chest is open, crown of the head is lifted, mountain pose. Lift your right leg up and step it onto the seat of your chair. If you need to, use your hands to help get yourself in that position. If that's a bit of a stretch for you, then you're just going to work on that. And if you can't get your foot that high, then go back to sitting and lifting your knee into your chest. Otherwise, you're going to bring your right foot onto the seat of your chair for a lunge. You can bring your hands onto the top of the right thigh and just find a straight spine and a straight left leg. Or if you need a deeper stretch, then you can drop both of your hands to the inside of your right leg and to the top of the seat of your chair. Still lengthening the spine here, engaging both glutes and both quad muscles. Take 4 more breaths on this side. 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. If you folded, bring your hands to your knee, lift to a flat back. Everybody, hands to your hips as you exhale, stand up, reground the right foot to the floor, back to mountain pose. Switching sides. Pick your left foot up or step it to the top of the seat of your chair. Lunging now. Square your hips. Make sure that your 2 hips are in one line from the side. Right hip a little forward, left hip a little bit back. Hands to the top of the left thigh, pressing down, lifting the chest and lengthening. Maybe you stay here, or maybe you drop your hands to the seat of your chair. Taking 4 more breaths here. 3 more breaths. 2. Exhale, bring your hands to the top of the thigh. If you've folded, inhale, lengthen the spine, everyone, look up. Exhale, reground the left foot to the floor, mountain pose, standing and just connecting with the ground. Crown of the head is lifted. Make your way to sit facing your chair. Slide your legs in between the legs of the chair, up to about the shins or the knees. Bring your legs together to touch. Flex your feet, so draw the top of the foot back towards your shins. Same thing as like when you were in your chair pigeon pose. Your pinky toe may want to misbehave and curl away from your face even though you're pulling the big toe back. That's very normal. Don't worry about it too much. Just know that that is going to be a focus and you're going to have to use your mind over matter to bring that pinky toe in line. Other things will also be important, but if you lose your breathing, then you've gone too far. So bring your hands to the top of the seat of your chair. Press down so that you can press your hips further down into the floor, but also lengthen your spine. Maybe you can stay here, or if it feels good, you can begin to kind of slide your chair a little bit away from you and lean forward, being aware that your hips have to begin to tilt so that the topmost portion of the bowl of your hips begins to tilt forward and your booty begins to slide back a little bit, lengthening the front of the thigh and deepening your hip crease. If you don't even know what I mean, or if you can't make that out from the video, then just don't worry about it and stay completely upright, because you'll still feel a stretch and strengthening in the front and the back of your legs here. And that's really the main thing. But if you can lean forward and get a little length in the low back and your hamstrings without straining, then feel free to do that. The only way that you will accomplish that without straining is to tilt your pelvis. And if that's an unfamiliar movement to you, then you're not alone. And it's something that, again, just like the pinky toe, you may have to use your mind to begin to wake up that part of your body. If you spend a lot of time sitting, then more than likely that is something that may become an issue. Sitting for long periods of time locks the pelvis into posterior pelvic tilt or neutral position, when really, when you're folding forward, you need the pelvis to tilt anteriorly. I say these things using actual terminology, physiological cues and markers, and anatomical cues and markers, so that if you're really curious, you can go on the internet and look up what I mean instead of using esoteric cues that are really just specific and poetic. So if you're curious and you don't know what these terms mean, please go look them up. They're very important to your long-term health. Wherever you are, you're going to bring it back to an upright spine. Draw your knees in, and then kind of sit over onto your left hip. Recline yourself down so that you're laying on your back. Your chair is still close to you. You're going to bring your calf muscles to rest on the seat of your chair, your arms open wide like a T. This is legs up the wall. You're going to be here for about 30 deep breaths, 2 or 3 minutes, letting your spine neutralize and letting the blood move in sort of a reverse position. This helps to reset the adrenal system because you're reversing the flow, so you get a little flush up into the area where the adrenal glands are located. Same thing with the lymphatic system. This is a gentle inversion. So just merely by virtue of the legs being overhead and over your heart, and sort of your body having to work a little harder to pump blood to the legs and then it flushing a little easier back to the heart, it's clearing out some of the major lymph nodes in the hips in the process of being inverted in this way. We're only going to be here for a short amount of time further, so I'm going to be silent in that time so that you can go back into focusing on your breath. If your mind wants to wander, as soon as you recognize that other thoughts have come into your mind, set them to the side. You can come back to them after practice. Gentle inhales, gentle exhales, letting your spine integrate to the floor, just relaxing. Slowly begin to push your chair away from you with your feet. Then, as you can, slowly roll onto your left side into the fetal position, letting your left arm be long overhead on the ground and your neck relaxing, right hand in front of you. Notice how heavy your head seems without your body exerting effort to support it. As you push yourself up to a seated position, make sure that your head stays and neck stays relaxing. Push yourself back to a seated position and just stay for a moment with crossed legs on the floor. Check back in. If you set an intention, this is a great time to review it. Also reviewing your practice for what worked, not focusing overly much on what didn't work, just letting what did work integrate into your experience so that it's something that you can take with you. Noticing if your mood or the overall relaxation of your body has changed throughout the practice. And again, if this was at all effective in relaxing you, then try to identify which parts of the practice helped you the most so that you can begin to incorporate them into your everyday life. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.